In my research for the article, 25 API security tips you're probably not considering, I didn't realize there are so many ways to secure your API that can go sideways. As Peter Liebert explained, treat APIs like they have a direct interface into your underlying systems and can bypass security controls. Because, well, that is pretty much what they do. I'm David Spark, producer of the CISO series, and I've put together a few of the best quotes and advice from that very article. But first, let me thank our sponsor of this video and that very article, Salt Security. Protect your SaaS, web, and mobile applications from API attacks. I begin this article and this video with Gary Hayslip's advice on the KISS principle. The more complex you make the security, the harder it is to understand, and you will miss things. When you are securing APIs, there are plenty of best practices, so don't make it hard. One way to introduce simplicity is to reduce the options for attack. Joey Johnson recommends parameterizing your API, which is to define and therefore limit certain acceptable variable types. Without yet knowing the new attack pattern coming at you, by parameterizing, you've proactively prevented yourself from being vulnerable to it. This really dramatically reduces your threat exposure and landscape without inhibiting desired API functionality. Another way to reduce the attack surface, said Nick Espinosa, is to throttle API usage. Many don't have traffic or bandwidth limits enforced for their APIs. This leaves them open to DDoS, brute force attacks, and more. Not surprisingly, we also got lots of advice on managing access, and Brendan Traffenstedt suggested privileged machine access management. Even though machines, robots, scripts, processes are the main consumers of APIs, they should be secured just like they were people. And April C. Wright noted that access means many things when it comes to APIs. In the context of an API, least privilege means three things: access within the API, access to the API, and access to an API key. As a result, Wright suggested different API keys for multiple different access types, but in moderation, because multiple keys will introduce complexity. Remember KISS? And lastly, Yaron Levy warns of password reuse, as it can have a domino-like effect. Many APIs are using service accounts, and often these service accounts are shared or their password never expires. So if one API is compromised, others are likely compromised as well. Like most security efforts, you have to be vigilant about securing APIs. As Nina Wyatt noted, problems will keep coming back if you're not always on top of them. API vulnerabilities are like bed bugs in a shady motel without a cleaning crew. They will always be there, and they will always come back once they are smoked out. That's just a small sampling of the advice from the entire article. If you haven't read it yet, well, there's a link to it on CISOseries.com or wherever you're watching this video. And let me know what you think about the article. What did I miss? Do you recommend something else? Let us know in the comments, and you may be featured in another video highlighting the best comments.